Stoicism, it's this ancient philosophy emerged in Athens around 300 BC. It emphasizes virtue, reason, and living in accordance with nature. It's about accepting what you can't control and focusing your efforts on what you can. And in a world of chaos and uncertainty, Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to the anxieties of modern life. These quotes, they're not just dusty old words, they're like a scalpel, cutting through the confusion of existence. They offer a way to navigate the complexities of life with a bit more resilience, a bit more wisdom. And we're going to explore these ideas not with a sense of dour solemnity, but with a bit of humor, because sometimes you need to laugh at the absurdity of it all to truly understand it. The only way to happiness is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. This quote, attributed to Epictetus, a former slave who became a renowned Stoic philosopher, cuts to the heart of Stoicism. Think about it. How much of our suffering comes from fretting over things we can't change? The weather, the past, other people's opinions, these are all outside our direct control. Epictetus, having experienced the brutal reality of slavery, knew this all too well. He understood that true freedom comes not from controlling the external world, but from mastering our inner world, our thoughts, our emotions, our reactions. This quote isn't about becoming passive or resigning yourself to fate. It's about focusing your energy on what you can influence. It's about taking responsibility for your own actions and choices. It's about recognizing that true happiness lies in aligning your will with the natural order of things. So when you find yourself consumed by worry, remember Epictetus. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. Focus your energy on what you can change, on building your character, on making wise choices. That's where true freedom and happiness reside. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, gives us a powerful call to action with this quote. It's a stark reminder that virtue is not a topic for debate, but a practice to be lived. In our modern world, we're bombarded with information, opinions, and ideologies. It's easy to get lost in endless discussions about what's right and wrong, good and bad. But Aurelius cuts through the noise with a simple truth. Action speaks louder than words. This quote is a challenge to stop theorizing about morality and start embodying it. It's about translating your values into tangible actions. It's about being the change you want to see in the world. So, instead of arguing about what constitutes a good person, go out and be one. Practice kindness, honesty, courage, and justice in your daily life. Let your actions be the testament to your beliefs. Don't waste time in pointless debates. Get out there and make a difference. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This quote, again from Marcus Aurelius, speaks to the core of Stoic psychology. It highlights the crucial distinction between what we can control, our thoughts, and what we can't, external events. This understanding is fundamental to achieving inner peace and resilience. Imagine a boxer stepping into the ring. He can't control his opponent's punches, but he can control his own reactions, his own movements, his own strategy. Life is much the same. We're constantly facing challenges, setbacks, and unexpected blows. But we always have the power to choose how we respond. We can choose to react with anger, frustration, or despair. Or we can choose to respond with calmness, reason, and fortitude. This choice is where our true power lies. When we realize this, we tap into a wellspring of strength. We become less reactive to external circumstances and more focused on our own internal state. We become less vulnerable to the whims of fate and more capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and resilience. So remember Aurelius's words, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Cultivate this inner power and you will find the strength to overcome any obstacle. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This deceptively simple quote from Marcus Aurelius packs a profound ethical punch. It's a call for integrity, for aligning our actions and words with truth and righteousness. In a world of spin, deception, and moral ambiguity, this principle serves as a guiding star. Think about it. How often do we compromise our values for convenience, for social approval, or for personal gain? How often do we say things we don't believe or act in ways that contradict our own moral compass? Aurelius reminds us that true strength lies in adhering to our principles even when it's difficult. This quote is a challenge to live a life of authenticity, to be true to ourselves and to our values. It's about rejecting the temptation to compromise our integrity for short-term gains. It's about speaking truth to power, even when it's unpopular. It's about holding ourselves to a higher standard, even when no one is watching. By aligning our actions and words with truth and righteousness, we build a foundation of inner strength and self-respect. We become beacons of integrity in a world that often seems to have lost its way. He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive. This quote, attributed to Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher and statesman, addresses the universal human fear of death. But instead of offering comfort or reassurance, Seneca challenges us to confront this fear head-on. He suggests that the fear of death can paralyze us, prevent us from living fully and courageously. Think about it. How many dreams go unfulfilled? How many opportunities are missed? Because we're afraid of taking risks, of stepping outside our comfort zones. Seneca argues that a life lived in fear of death is a life half-lived. To truly live, we must embrace our mortality, accept it as an inevitable part of the human experience. This doesn't mean becoming reckless or indifferent to danger. It means recognizing that our time is limited and precious, and that we should use it wisely. It means facing our fears and pursuing our goals with courage and determination. It means living each day as if it were our last, not in a hedonistic sense, but in a way that honors the value of life. So let go of the fear of death. Embrace the present moment and live a life worthy of your potential. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This quote, often attributed to Epictetus, emphasizes the importance of our reactions to life's events. It's a reminder that we can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. Now you might be thinking, sure, easier said than done, right? And you'd be right. Life throws all sorts of curveballs our way, disappointments, setbacks, frustrations, and even tragedies. It's natural to feel upset, angry, or discouraged when these things happen. But the Stoics argue that our initial emotional reaction is not the end of the story. We have the power to choose how we process these emotions, how we interpret the events, and how we move forward. Imagine someone cutting you off in traffic. Your initial reaction might be anger, frustration, maybe even a few choice words muttered under your breath. But then you have a choice. You can choose to let that anger consume you, ruin your day, maybe even lead to a dangerous confrontation, or you can choose to let it go. You can choose to see it as a minor inconvenience, a fleeting moment in the grand scheme of things. You can choose to focus on your own safety and well-being, rather than on the other driver's recklessness. That choice, the choice of how you react, is where your true power lies. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This quote, often attributed to Epictetus, challenges our conventional notions of wealth. It suggests that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in contentment, in the ability to be satisfied with what we have. In our consumerist society, we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we need more, that happiness lies in acquiring the latest gadgets, the biggest houses, the most fashionable clothes. But the Stoics argue that this pursuit of material wealth is a trap, a never-ending cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. True wealth, they suggest, comes from within. It comes from cultivating a sense of gratitude for what we have, from appreciating the simple things in life. It comes from recognizing that our needs are relatively few, and that our happiness doesn't depend on accumulating more and more stuff. This perspective is particularly relevant in professional settings. We often measure success in terms of salary, promotions, and status symbols. But the Stoic approach reminds us that true success lies in finding meaning and fulfillment in our work, in contributing to something larger than ourselves, in building strong relationships with our colleagues. It's about finding satisfaction in the process of work itself, rather than in the external rewards it may bring. To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. This quote, attributed to the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, highlights the importance of emotional stability and resilience. Equanimity, the ability to remain calm and composed in the face of challenges and setbacks, is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's about cultivating a sense of inner peace that is not easily shaken by external events. Think about it. How often do our emotions dictate our actions, leading us to make rash decisions or say things we later regret? How often do we allow our fears, anxieties, and frustrations to control our lives? Epictetus reminds us that true strength lies in mastering our emotions, in developing a sense of inner balance that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and composure. Now, this doesn't mean suppressing our emotions or becoming indifferent to the world around us. It's about recognizing that our emotions are fleeting, that they come and go like the weather. It's about learning to observe our emotions without judgment, without allowing them to dictate our actions. It's about cultivating a sense of inner peace that allows us to respond to challenges with clarity and wisdom rather than with reactivity and impulsivity. This capacity for equanimity is essential for personal growth and self-improvement. It allows us to learn from our mistakes, to grow from our experiences, and to become more resilient in the face of adversity. What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. This quote, often attributed to the Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca, speaks to the transformative power of facing our fears. It suggests that our fears often point us towards areas where we need to grow, where we need to step outside our comfort zones and challenge ourselves. Think about it. What are you most afraid of? Public speaking, asking someone out on a date, starting your own business, quitting your job. Often the things we fear most are the very things that have the potential to bring us the greatest growth and fulfillment. Now, this quote isn't about being reckless or ignoring legitimate dangers. It's about recognizing that fear can be a powerful motivator, but it can also be a paralyzing force. It's about learning to distinguish between rational fear, which keeps us safe from harm, and irrational fear, which holds us back from pursuing our goals and living a full life. When we face our fears, we often discover that they were far less daunting than we imagined. We build confidence, develop resilience, and expand our capacity for courage. We learn that we are capable of more than we thought possible, and we open ourselves up to new experiences and opportunities. However, it's important to acknowledge that this quote, while inspiring, might not be universally applicable. Sometimes our fears are rooted in real and present dangers. Sometimes our intuition is telling us to avoid certain situations or people for good reason. In these cases, blindly following Seneca's advice could lead to harm. It's crucial to exercise discernment, to evaluate our fears carefully, and to seek wise counsel when needed. Facing our fears is a powerful tool for growth, but it should be used with caution and wisdom. Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This quote from Seneca encourages us to embrace the present moment and to live each day to the fullest. It's a reminder that life is precious and fleeting, and that we should make the most of every single day. Think about it. How often do we get caught up in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future, missing out on the beauty and opportunity of the present moment? Seneca urges us to break free from this cycle of worry and to live each day as if it were a fresh start, a new beginning. This quote isn't about living recklessly or impulsively. It's about approaching each day with a sense of purpose and intentionality. It's about savoring the simple pleasures of life, appreciating the people around us, and making the most of our time and talents. Imagine waking up each morning with a renewed sense of gratitude for the gift of another day. Imagine approaching your work, your relationships, and your leisure activities with a sense of focus and enthusiasm. Imagine letting go of past regrets and future anxieties, and simply embracing the present moment with open arms. This is the essence of Seneca's advice: to live each day as a separate life, full of meaning and possibility. So there you have it, 10 Stoic quotes to revolutionize your day. Take some time to reflect on these ideas to see how they might apply to your own life. Experiment with incorporating these principles into your daily routines, your interactions with others, and your approach to challenges. Remember, Stoicism isn't about becoming an emotionless robot. It's about cultivating inner strength, resilience, and wisdom. And sometimes the best way to approach these profound ideas is with a bit of humor. Life can be absurd, challenging, and downright confusing, but by learning to laugh at the absurdity, by embracing the Stoic perspective, we can navigate these challenges with more grace, more courage, and maybe even a little more joy. What was your favorite quote from this video? How has Stoicism impacted your life? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.